Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra Donnelly from Creative Passages. I'm a mixed media artist from Norfolk, Virginia. And I just wanted to say hello to all my new subscribers, of which my channel has been growing a lot more in the past month than it ever has. So I'm very excited about that, and I wanted to develop more of a community here in this YouTube channel, and also introduce you to my blog. If you want to know more about me, I will link that below. But I just wanted to just kind of talk this morning, not really make any art, and for us to get to know each other better. So a lot of you like my Mamagami videos, and that's exciting. I love Mamagami. Some of you like my more trauma-related videos. I'm hoping to establish more of a core group of people that are coming here because they want to experience art in a way that's healing. Because I feel like I'm very equipped to facilitate that, or just demonstrate that even, because I've used art my whole life to cope with my own trauma and history of sexual abuse and, complex PTSD. But I'm a professional as well, and I work in a psychiatric hospital, and I work with the people that have mental health challenges and behavioral disturbances and addictions and things like that. And I've been doing that for 24 years in the capacity of an art therapist. But the reason I'm an art therapist is because that's just intrinsically who I am to the core. Well, I would say not that word so much as art minister. God's recently been helping me define, what my life mission is. And I think if there had to be like a branding for me, it would be art minister. Because that's what I do. Art ministers to me, and as I'm doing my art and sharing my art story, I'm hoping that it will minister to you. Most of my videos here will be art process videos where you will see me make my art, maybe explain my art. Some of it might be instructional. Most of my videos are going to be long form, although I'm going to try to work on adding a few more shorts so you can get some kind of previews and things like that for my videos. My time is very limited because I do work full time. I'm also a minister, and a licensed minister in Virginia Beach. That only involves about once a month mental health workshops that I lead, in which I teach and I preach, and then we follow that with art making, and it's open to the community for free, and I bring all my own art supplies for that. My heart is for ministry first and foremost. My approach to art first and foremost is that art can help you express yourself and bring healing to whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's just current stressors, loss, or unresolved trauma, of which I have all of those things, usually going all the time. I have, like, my history is not just with trauma, but it's like, it was very severe trauma, which I try not to get into too much details here in these videos because I don't want to trigger anybody. And when I feel like it's a sensitive topic and just the feelings expression might trigger somebody, I do put a trigger warning on it so you will know. I'm spirit filled. I've been saved ever since I was 5 years old. And there's no way to separate that in me, nor is there any way to separate the art in me. I'm an artist at heart, and I always will be. However, with that in mind, because of the trauma in my life, I've never really established myself in the marketplace as an artist. I want to someday, but that's never been my highest priority. My highest priority has been to use art for healing for me. And also my highest priority has also been to freely give my art and share my testimony to the world, as a way to bring healing and hope and deliverance. And my art has been published online since 2008, I believe. I'm at Fine Art America. And I have also a Facebook Creative Passages site. I used to have more sites, but I found that it was too much for me. I have an Instagram, but honestly, I have trouble keeping up with that because I have so much on my plate. I forgot to mention my family also lives with me. I was headed to that direction. And so my grandmother, my daughter and her husband, and then my 2 grandchildren live with me. So my grandson is currently in the hospital, and he's getting ready to come out today. He had major open heart surgery, and it was such an ordeal. If you want to read about that, you can go to my blog. I made a recent post about that attached to my recent Mamagami video about the crackle paste. So art has been my way of coping. It's who I am. I'm spirit-filled. That's who I am. So I guess where I'm leading with that is that I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anybody. I don't believe in forcing anything on anybody. I'm really like easygoing. I'm free-spirited. I'm loving and kind. And I have a high tolerance for other people. You know, I try not to judge other people, because I know that we're all in our own places. And what I hope to bring to this channel is that I help you not judge yourself and not judge your own artwork, because I think so many times as artists that we think that the art always has to be beautiful in order to have value. And I'm here to tell you that there's value just in the creative process itself, because that brings healing. And so that's primarily my focus here. Sometimes my art will be beautiful, sometimes it won't be. My style tends to be very layered and chaotic and busy and overworked maybe sometimes. That's probably like all my anxiety coming out, you know. But I want that free expression. I mean, it doesn't help me if I'm not allowing all that to come out. But then my style is to like try to make it beautiful. And you might even say like I have a special heart for ugly things that I want to become beautiful, like in my life, ugly circumstances that I want to become beautiful, or the ugly parts of my past that I want to transform into something beautiful. I mean, God's Spirit does that, and you see that process happening in my art too. And so I'm not here to try to conform to the world or to be the most popular YouTube star out there. I'll be like, like get a good crowd, but I'm happy if I'm touching and ministering to even 2 people who are benefiting from this channel, then I'm very pleased, because that is my heart, to minister. And I do want to establish myself in the marketplace, but that comes second. So some of my drawbacks with that have been that the trauma made me very disorganized. But I've come a long way with that. I've had like 11 years of therapy, and I'm getting ready to go back in to deal with some of this military sexual trauma. My life is mostly in a stable place, and I've really overcome a lot in my life. You know, I had my baby out of wedlock. I was a single mother for 8 years, got married for 10 years. It was a disaster. I lived in poverty some more during that marriage, after that. And then probably within the last 5 years, I've gone from like 1-bedroom home up to a 2-bedroom home to a 3-bedroom home. Well, that apartments I was renting. And now I have my own home, 3-bedroom own home that I bought 3 years ago in July. And my finances have finally got to a place where they're more stabilized. But I really relate to the poor and the struggling. And you could say I'm not well off. I'm probably low middle class, you know. And that's okay with me, because I don't have a desire to like be rich. But what I do want to do is be comfortable, and I want to just be loved and love. I want to love you, and I want to be loved in return, and I just want to share my heart and my soul with the world. And I want to be authentic. I want to be free to be myself. That is really what I guess the current theme of my life is. Just all these things that have happened in my life interweave to create, the person that I am today. And same with you. All the things that are happening in your life, even the past trauma or loss or hardships that you've gone through, can, if you submit to the Lord, can interweave and work together to create your masterpiece, your ministry, your calling in life. That's kind of the way it works, and I want to maybe demonstrate that, but also share my vulnerability with you, because there is a lot. I'm still working through things. My family has struggles, and that's always like often triggering to me. Hence the art making constantly. Um, I will always be making art. Whether or not I share everything with you that I'm making is another story, but I will always be making art because that's just how I cope. Um, and so I'm gradually going to work towards putting my art out there on Etsy. But first, I want to make sure I get all organized and get all my stuff kind of ready. So I'm not pushing myself too hard because I have very limited free time, but within the next 1 to 2 years, ideally. And then I'm working on trying to also get a VA, a partial disability. I'll just say this: my whole life I've been functional. I've always been able to work. In fact, you could say that's my best play is like when I'm working. That is really also been a way that helps stabilize me, and like there's joy. I find joy in working with people. And so I can be going through the worst crisis in the world, get to work, and I'm so happy, and I have such good groups because it's just, I think that's God, God just put me in the world to release to other people, and I'm happy that way. And so no matter what's going on in my life, that is what I do. And so there's always been a level of stability in my life. I've kept my same job for 24 years, and God's always kept me from floundering or being homeless. But I've been pretty stripped and crushed flesh wise for many years, you could say decades even. But I'm coming to a place where things are a little bit more comfortable in my life, and keep losing my train of thought. But so I eventually want to get like a partial disability from the VA, which I think maybe I could qualify for 80% based on my symptoms, both physically and probably PTSD wise. I'm at 30%, maybe 50% max. But there's other ways that ties into some physical issues that you go through, and I struggled with this for a long time, but I realized that whether or not I should, because I don't want to declare anything over myself, like a disability or anything. But I realized that might be a pathway that the Lord is giving me to open up some of my time so that I can give even more of myself to others and not feel like a rat on a wheel. For so much of my life, I felt like a rat on a wheel that was just spinning, working, and not really having anything to show for it. And I say that to encourage you if you're in a similar place, because sometimes in life we find ourselves in a slow grind, or maybe it's a fast grind that's lasting for a long time, and it feels like you're just not ever getting out of it. But know that things can eventually change for you. Like, it feels like they're finally changing for me. If you're submitting to the Lord, He is going to take you from one place to the other. It's inevitable, because He has a good plan for you. And so I want to maybe open up some time for myself so that I can devote more time to this YouTube channel, to my blog, to writing. I love writing. That's another way I cope. I plan to produce some books someday, hopefully. And I'm thinking maybe I want to become a life coach someday as well, and then expand my workshops. Right now I do the workshops at my church once a month. They're small groups, anywhere between 4 to 10 people on average, about 5 to 7 on average, even though it's open to everybody for free. And maybe develop some workshops here at this YouTube channel. But that's maybe 2 to 5 years away, perhaps longer. I can't really devote my time to that till I'm not working, 5 days a week. If I'm at 80%, I might have to work 2 days a week, but then I would still have more time. So I'm 55, so I'm working on, planning out my retirement, and I'm hoping that I will get to enjoy life. I've done some traveling when I was young, like to different states. I've only been to 2 different countries. But I've happened to have like a lot of international friends, so I'm sort of interested in culture, and I want to see the world someday. And I know, actually, when you look at like all my follows across my social media platforms, it's nationwide. So I love you too, like no matter what country you're from. And I want to get to know you better and enjoy your culture, because I think each culture has something very valuable to offer to us and to the world. So I like that. I find that very interesting and pleasing, and I've always been that way. So I'm back to like me being spirit filled. So I'm not here to like push my beliefs on you, but you're going to find that because I'm transparent most of the time and authentic, that it's going to come out, and there's no way to, well, I mean, I could stifle that, but I choose not to. I don't want to stifle that in me. I don't want to stifle the work of the Holy Spirit. If you're here and you're not of the same mindset as far as your beliefs, I welcome you too. You don't have to agree with everything I say or do. You don't even have to like my art. Maybe you could still find value in just something that I'm sharing here. Probably those of you who subscribe just maybe because you like a certain video maybe aren't watching this anyway. Probably all my core subscribers who will watch this are the ones who are interested in learning more about me. And that's okay. I realize I'm going to have different people subscribing for different reasons, and some of you are going to come here, for different reasons. So I hope to appeal to all of you, in some videos, no matter what your reason is for coming here. I'm, like I said, a mixed media artist, and I've dabbled in art my entire life. And so I'm interested in a variety of different mediums, and I've always liked to challenge myself and learn new things. Lately, I've been really into the Mamagami phase, and a lot of you are coming here for the Mamagami. I want to make some more videos about, some of you are asking me questions about the Mamagami process, saying you fell apart or you didn't like the looks of it when you use the oils or lotions. So I kind of want to make another video addressing that topic and some steps that you could take to resolve that, since this is my most popular topic here. But also, I've been in the Mamagami craze just because I find that to be very therapeutic for me. The Mamagami process is very soothing and relaxing, but to me, it tells a story of how a life can be crumpled up and kind of go through the storm, but yet come out of it to the other side and then be used into something where it can be part of something bigger that turns into this beautiful tapestry. And so, right now I've been working on a trauma journal. Most of those Mamagami papers that I make go into my trauma journal. I have a grief journal that I made. I led a grief journal workshop. That was my most popular workshop. And that is actually why I started this YouTube channel, so that I could put that out there for the world so other people could know how to do it and benefit from it, because so many people are dealing with grief. And I know right now in the world there's so many hardships. So many of you are struggling. And so I wanted to just have a channel where I could minister hope and goodwill and love and just joy through the art making process, and teach you, if you need to be taught, that it's okay for your art not to be perfect. It's okay for you to not be perfect. God's grace is sufficient for you. Basically, I want to help you come to a place in your life where you're feeling very peaceful and free. I feel like I'm coming to that place. I'm coming to that place. And maybe I'm not there 100%. Some days I'm going to struggle. Some days I'm going to be a little bit lower functioning than higher functioning. Right now, I feel like I'm pretty functioning pretty well. But I want you to just accept wherever you are in life and know that we go through phases in life sometimes, and we can work through things. And even if you're at a difficult place in your life, and even if it's lasted a long time, you can get through it to the other side, and God can give you grace, and His strength is sufficient for you. And so yeah, most of the themes of my videos are going to be about that, because that's just who I am. It's my own process that I've had to go through. So it's only a byproduct is that I'm going through that. And in lifetime, like as I'm doing these videos, I'm sometimes going through that. And God is ministering to me through my art making process. He speaks to me as I make the art. I am a prophetic artist, but I'm a little different than a typical prophetic artist, because typical prophetic artists get visions ahead of time and then they create the art that way of their vision. I'm spirit-filled and prophetic, but I usually make the art spontaneously and intuitively, and then God begins speaking to me through it. Not to say that He does give me visions sometimes, but I'm just saying how He typically works through me. And He shows up like when I'm not planning it or expecting it, He will show up and come out in these videos, and I'm not going to stop it, because God has free reign in my life, and I'm hoping that you will enjoy it and benefit from that too. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. So, some of the topics that I'm interested in exploring next are like Suma Nagashi. I want to do that. More decorative paper making. I'm always about the decorative paper making. And something I like about that as well is that it's very fun and good for your anxiety to like make decorative papers, and then to take the pressure off the table and not necessarily have to have a finished product. Like you can have like all these pretty papers that can later be incorporated to a finished project. And I want to say about your failed mamagami, some of you are telling me you didn't like your mamagami. Save that. That can be collaged into something beautiful later, and you can further work with it. So save those pieces that you don't like, if you're willing to. And then, because all those scraps can later become something beautiful. And so that is my story. So I've got to go to work. Be blessed, everybody. Bye. Love you. And my grandson should be coming home today, so I'm pretty happy about that. Bye.